it was very controversial. And some of it is, going back to the previous points, is because it flaunted British decline. It used images of the Union Jack torn up and then sewn together with safety pins. That kind of imagery of taunting Britain with its decline in the world. That is undoubtedly hitting at cherished self-images of Britain. However, it was controversial, but it was very, very small. There were very few people who bought into punk. Very few people bought the records, frankly, with the exception of a handful of groups. I mean, 4 or 5 bands that actually managed to sell records. It was not a popular movement. It was expected by the record industry that punk was going to be the equivalent of the great beat boom of the 1960s, and it simply was not. It did not get anywhere near that level of penetration, let alone of exports to the rest of the world. The importance of punk, I think, only becomes apparent in later decades. It does have a very, very long-term impact. It changes the nature of culture quite substantially because the few people who are really into it become quite important, and people start to be inspired by the image of it. I think you can see it in the growth of alternative comedy, which starts in 1979, the idea of this politicised comedy that is railing against the establishment, the light entertainment that is seen on television. That is inspired by punk. And it is much more popular than punk. Punk is a form of agitation, but it never ever gets anywhere near being a mass movement in any way whatsoever.